Hello, folks. We have 0 viewers. It's usually a slow start, and then they start filing in. It's usually Justin, then San Leanda, and then nobody else. But we do it still, nonetheless. We do it for ourselves. And we're joined by Lorenzo's lovely mother here, Miss Taylor. Do you go by anything else, or can I call you Miss Taylor?
That's fine.
I would like to respect my friends' mothers because I know they can kill me with one swift blow, with either hand, dominant or non-dominant. I know that they can execute me on sight. So I like to make sure that they're happy at all times. Now, Lorenzo, or Miss Taylor, rather, I'll start with you. So what do you like about the show that you thought you'd want to come on and discuss with us?
I've noticed that you have had a few guests. Sometimes the topics are interesting, but for the most part,
again, like I said, they could just kill me and you weren't even trying. You like a stake through my heart. You said sometimes we talk about interesting things, which implies, and I know you know this because you're a mother. You're a very sweet woman. I can tell you raised Lorenzo very well. You just thoroughly. No, I'm kidding, of course. You didn't mean that, but no, I know what you mean. What are some of the interesting things, the few interesting things that we have talked about that you enjoy, if you can remember any?
Well, the main ones, I thought it was creative when you had the guest speakers that we couldn't see.
Oh, yeah. So that's actually new. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of those. We're going to have Jennifer Coolidge on. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's actually behind me in the room now. We're best buds. Okay. She comes over sometimes, and we just hang out. She and I. She's a famous celebrity, but we're going to have her on. And if you can't tell already, we just have like characters on that, like you said, you can't see. And so it's one of us doing a funny voice. But my goal with that is to eventually have people on who are more skilled than me at doing stuff like that, because I don't have any talent or inherent ability to do that. I don't have any business doing that. So hopefully we can have more, funnier people on to do funnier characters. And I think it's going to start with Jennifer over here.
She's stuck.
Oh no, is something going on in the background? Sorry,
It's Daisy.
Oh, Daisy?
Yeah.
How's she doing? Daisy's the cat.
Oh, well, she's having technical difficulties.
So am I, apparently. My camera went out of focus, and it's telling me there's no memory card, which I'm well aware of. And now there's a little plus and minus sign there. Okay, it's gone. So I love my setup, my camera and everything. All this equipment that you can and can't see. I'm in so much debt. I'm over my head in debt. I'm swimming in it. But, it's all worth it because when I do become YouTube famous, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay it all off. And it's funny, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go into even more debt, and I'm going to buy a studio worth of equipment for myself and like a whole sound booth and everything. And then that's not going to take off. What's going to happen then is I'm going to drown in all that debt, and Lorenzo's going to have to come up down to Northern Virginia and save me from the mafia that I'll be in super just high, ridiculous interest debt to. He's going to have to come and kill all of them to save me. But he doesn't know that yet, so we're going to strike that from the record. But that's my long-term plan, is to just use the mafia's money until it's ridiculous and I can't pay it off. And then Lorenzo's going to come down here guns a-blazing with a lasso and some handcuffs, and he's going to take care of business.
Okay. I think the mafia may not be missed too much, so.
Yeah. And that's my thinking, too. They have it coming. They're criminals. So we need a superhero to come down here and scoop me up out of my pickle that I'll find myself in. So Lorenzo, did you prep anything? You said you were looking at stuff, and then maybe you weren't, and then I know I wasn't, so I have nothing. I mean, I can find things. Like your mom hit the nail on the head. We seldom talk about anything. Forget about interesting topics. Those don't. I mean, if something happens of interest on this show, it was by mistake, and that's the magic of show business. Is that the accidents are more entertaining than the intended product. But do you have anything intended that will surely be uninteresting and underwhelming?
We've got a few topics and links. Let me see when it's going to be interesting.
Okay. Is it on? Because I could be looking at the document now, but I'm not because I'm bad at my job.
3. I have 4 links. Oh, 2 of those are kind of interesting, and 1 is like kind of interesting.
Okay, let's look at a link, and then I want to talk about Christmas, how Christmas went, but we'll look at a link first.
I hit our legal non-disclosure. Whatever we show or say, we don't own it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All that legal jargon, yada yada. Don't sue us.
I was gonna say you're scaring me. Legal? Why do we need legal involvement?
You just gotta say it. You know.
Okay.
Say it. Just let the people know.
Well, yeah, you have that at the top. For some reason, you have a bullet point under Monday, December 26th, which it's not, and I'm sorry.
That's when I thought.
But you have the first bullet point is non-disclosure in parentheses legal shit. So I'm wondering how much of this is going to get copyright claimed off the beginning. That's gonna be unusable. But I'm excited nonetheless. I am. Okay.
Oh yeah. I wanted to, because we were talking about the crypto, and I was like something about one of the Kardashians, something like that. So I was like, I want to show the viewers the correct information.
Yeah. So you can see this now that I'm looking at it, right?
I am able to view it.
Okay. So I'm going to move this over here. I think we're good. All right. So federal judge dismisses crypto scam lawsuit against Kim Kardashian, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Miss Taylor, I can't read. I'm illiterate. I want you to know that off the bat. So I'm gonna misspeak a lot. And it's because I'm not reading the words. I'm guessing what they might be. I'm inferring. I've been inferring all my life, all 23 years of my life. I've just been guessing what words are. So please, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to misspeak a lot because I'm just guessing. But it says a federal judge on Wednesday dismissed a proposed class action lawsuit by investigators against the founders of the cryptocurrency Ethereum Max. I've never even heard of Ethereum Max. I thought it was just... Is this some fake scam Ethereum, or is this like...
I don't think I've heard of it.
Actual Ethereum.
Honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a legitimate thing, so...
It sounds like a made-up metal or something.
Yeah.
Like uranium or adamantium or something.
Yeah, Ethereum is a cryptocurrency, for one.
But the max, though, to the max.
The max, yeah, is what I'm worried about. That's what I think is a scam. I'm sorry, this isn't full screen, you guys. I don't know what's going on with my... I can't make it full screen for some reason. Give me just 1 second.
Y'all want the link? Comment and we'll send you the link.
I'm showing the link, but it's like, for some reason, it's like super zoomed in on the thing. Can you tell me a little bit about this? How did you come across this? Kind of preface this.
A while ago, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't reread the article, but I heard about it. I'm about to do it now.
Okay.
But I heard about it a while ago. I like saw something about it. But I know, Kimmy K. She was like studying law and stuff, helping get people out of jail. That was pretty dope.
Kimmy K.
Kimmy K. That's what the kids call her.
I don't know what is happening.
Kimberly. I guess it's Kimberly. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I figured it out. We're good. All right. We got it.
You got it?
Yep. It's going to take me a second to get you on the screen, too. I forgot to crop that as well. So right now, for the audience, it's just 2 of me, which I know is not what you want at all. You want as little of me as possible, I think. So we're going to fix that in just a second, and then we'll read the article. But so you heard about this, and then you found an article that explains it more in detail?
I saw it. Maybe I saw like an article or something back in the day, because this was like a little while
back
ago.
In the day? You were talking the 60s or what?
Oh, this is like November.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Real back in the
Hold
day.
up, they just published this article like a few weeks ago. That's wild. So it
That's
wasn't
back
that
in the
far
day to
away.
me, yeah. I think I was
Hey,
born
way
then.
back in the time.
I'm a young man, Miss Taylor. I was born yesterday, as they say. I get told that a lot. Were you born yesterday? And I say yes, because I was. Of course I was born yesterday. Okay. All right. I think we got it.
We got
So
it.
if I may
Thank you.
continue then. So you loosely know what this is. Not entirely, right?
That is correctly. That is correct.
Well, nor do I. So I'm excited to figure out what
We're
Kim K
all
is doing with her,
with Kimberly.
what Kimberly is
That's what
doing.
that's what she's gonna sue us for. She be like, "Yo, don't be calling me Kimberly."
So we called her
Kimberly.
Kimberly. She's going to get mad at that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's cool. She's out there making TikToks with North and Saint and well, it's like two more. I don't know. I don't know. Is North the first one? I don't even know.
I don't know either. I just zoomed in on it a little bit. It might look a little janky, y'all. I apologize. But we have here the judge dismissed a proposed class action lawsuit by investors against the founders of the cryptocurrency Ethereum Max. I'd be interested to know if Ethereum Max is some knockoff of Ethereum. I think Ethereum is its own separate thing, and then Ethereum Max sounds like a scam for sure. As well as celebrity endorsers, including Kim Kardashian and boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr., over their promotion of the cryptocurrency on social media. Investors who bought EMAX tokens alleged they had suffered losses after taking the word of celebrity influencers about the value of the crypto. The suit claims that the defendants engaged in a conspiracy to artificially inflate the value of EMAX tokens. And a judge wrote that he recognized the lawsuit's claims raised legitimate worries about the celebrity's ability to readily pursue millions of undiscerning followers to buy snake oil with unprecedented ease and reach. So we were talking about last time, Miss Taylor, this guy named Logan Paul. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Paul brothers, but they're kind of like a couple of sneaky white guys. And if we know anything about white guys, it's that they specialize in screwing people over, especially the YouTube famous ones. And they were really big. I think they blew up on Vine first, and then they took over YouTube when Vine kind of fell off the face of the earth, and then TikTok, and they kind of just vlog now and do podcasts. And they've gotten into boxing as well lately, so you'll see a lot of celebrity boxing matches. They kind of spearheaded that front, the Paul brothers, Logan and his younger brother Jake. But what they've recently gotten themselves into is cryptocurrency scams. And what they do is, it's really nice of them. They take these neat ideas for cryptocurrencies, like they'll invent these little games that their audiences can play and also make money with, because they're buying they're investing into their cryptocurrency as they play these little mobile games and online games. So it's like a neat way. They have these neat ideas of how to, and I'll say Logan has these neat ideas of how to make money and also play like trading card style games. And the best part about it is that none of it works, and they actually just end up taking everybody's money without anybody making any money. And that's the best part of it. That's for them, because they make like hundreds of thousands of dollars, while their fans and their audience essentially makes like pennies on the dollar for their investment, and in fact just lose money altogether. So it seems to be a recurring theme, that celebrities, especially like the trashier ones, they'll go on there, and Kim Kardashian is no exception. She could be a billionaire, she could be a trillionaire, and I think this lady would just continue to like scam her audience at all turns if she could. I mean, do you disagree? What do you think about celebrities scamming people? What's your stance on it? Or have you seen any yourself? I don't know.
I haven't seen any myself. If they managed their money better, maybe they wouldn't have to.
But I mean, at a certain point, don't you think you've made enough money that you shouldn't have to scam especially your audience, the people that support you? That's kind of the case with Logan Paul than what we were talking about last time.
Who don't know when to stop. So.
Exactly. They kind of get greedy, and they they see an opportunity to make money off the backs of the people who support them, and they do that anyways because they have like no moral they have no moral gate that sort of stops them from behaving that way. I think with this, and we'll read more of it, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think things like this, though, and I was joking on Kim Kardashian. I have nothing against her because I don't know anything about her. I've heard about this video with this guy, Ray J. I don't know what that's about. It seems like they maybe had some fun or something. But she got famous and got really rich. And I think with these, it's less about the celebrities, like the super famous ones, and more about the people they have like on their marketing team who field these ideas to them and say, hey, you should just post this on your Twitter. We've already done the research. We back it, so you should too. You know, like they have teams of people that kind of clear these business ventures for them. And I think they're just getting screwed over by their business people. I don't think it's so much like Kim Kardashian saw this opportunity to market this thing on her own volition so that she could scam the Kimmies. I don't know what she calls her followers, probably Kimmies. They're not Kimmies anymore. I know that. They're probably not that anymore. I should hope not. Although maybe they are Kimmies because she's making what, $200 million a year in child support off of Kanye West. So maybe she embraces it. But I think that what it is again, it's people on her team that are supposed to be, you know, acting in good faith and in her favor, that kind of screw her over on the back end so that they can make a quick buck. Because yes, the celebrities do inflate the worth of these cryptocurrencies by boosting them on their socials, on Twitter, on Instagram. And like, if I can veer off, and I'm sorry to kind of take the reins on this, I'm very passionate about it. I got hacked today. My Twitter got hacked. And it's crazy because I'm Twitter famous. I have been, please, you know, sit down. Don't get up all at once and clap. I have double digits, 30 Twitter followers, and all 30 of them thought that I today was tweeting every hour on the hour, you know, buy this cryptocurrency. I should have taken screenshots because I did get hacked. Ben called me when I was at Chili's to say, hey, are you posting this stuff? And I looked, I had like 8 posts throughout the day saying like, hey, buy this. This is 1,000% secure, you know. I really believe in this, and my friends do too. And I looked, and the posts had like 66 views between 30 people. I know that's a lot of viewership. I don't know how that happened either, but a lot of viewers, no engagement, no likes. Nobody likes anything I post, scam or otherwise. But all that to say, it's really easy to kind of get one over on people. And no matter, at every turn, it could be somebody on your team, if you're a mega celebrity, or it's like hackers. It's more lucrative for people to sort of pull a fast one than to just straight up rob you. Because I'm sure these same business people could like easily do like a wire transfer from Kim's bank to like their own bank account or something, you know, and make money that way. But it's a lot easier and a lot more lucrative to create an elaborate scam and market it from someone else's account or, you know, speaking point, and then get everybody to believe it, and then you make like hundreds of thousands of dollars on the back end. These are cropping up everywhere. I'm curious to see how she's involved. Again, I kind of gave my thoughts. The judge says, but while the law certainly places limits on those advertisers, it also expects investors to act reasonably before basing their bets on the zeitgeist of the moment. So that's the judge sort of putting some onus on the people who invested kind of blindly in this thing. And it can be argued too, yes, the investors have some responsibility in this, but when you do have like a multi-billionaire, I don't know if she's a multi-billionaire, but she's a billionaire, kind of like advertising that this is, I mean, it'd be like if Bill Gates out of nowhere said, okay, listen guys, this is it. This is the ship to jump on. It's this new product. I've had my eye on it for a while. If you're going to make money anywhere, it's here. And that's essentially what all these, you know, Forbes models and you know, or force cover celebrities. That's essentially what they're doing with cryptocurrency now, and it's become socially acceptable for them to just shill fake business ventures that ultimately are just pump and dump money schemes, like get rich quick schemes that maybe like 20 people actually benefit off of. And what's really curious is when the people who are promoting it benefit the most. That was the instance with Logan Paul. He made a lot of money on the back end, and who made even more money were the developers. And it's really strange when the people behind the product are the ones that are making all the money, and then everyone else is, crying, going to the bank saying, hey, like, this isn't what it turned out to be, and they're left holding the bag. I don't know how much more of this there is. What got ruled eventually? Do we know the ruling? The ruling came 2 months after Kardashian agreed to pay $1.26 million and not to promote cryptocurrency for 3 years. That's how serious it is, that this ruling ended up in her not being able to promote not just this product, but any form of cryptocurrency for 3 years. That's how rampant this issue is, that just people go on Twitter with millions upon millions of followers and say, hey, spend your money here. This is secure. And then they see no return on there. In fact, they lose like incredible amounts of money because they thought, I'll buy 10 of these at like $100 each. And the next thing you know, that's $1,000 down the drain because they trusted Kim Kardashian, who seemingly knows what she's doing with her money. And then they turn around and go, hey, you risked it on your own volition. You made the decision ultimately. You knew it wasn't safe, or that there was a chance it wasn't safe from the beginning, when all they did on Instagram or all they did on Twitter was say just how safe it was in about 20 different posts, that you just can't fail with this, that it's basically US currency. So that's kind of where the rubber meets the road, and rulings like these occur, is when like they say one thing and like the complete opposite occurs, and yet somehow the celebrity makes a shit ton of money. Excuse my language. Are there any, I'm sure do you follow any celebrities on Instagram, Twitter, or anything? Do you see this? Do you see them advertising things like this?
I don't.
You don't? I don't personally, but I always hear about these stories, especially in the last like 5-6 months with this whole crypto. And it seems in the last month or so, cryptocurrency as a whole has sort of fallen off. It was a fad for a while, and now people are losing faith in it. And so when that happens, like with any business or any investment opportunity, when people start to lose faith in the product, the value dips significantly. And now cryptocurrency seems to be tainted by these scams and these sort of these quick turnaround pump and dump schemes. It seems like Bitcoin and Ethereum and the more reputable cryptocurrencies, no matter the legitimacy of the blockchain or their security, however much there may be, it seems like people sort of look at it like a joke right now. So I've never really had any cryptocurrency. I did have like a percentage of one Bitcoin for a time, but I think I sold that for like $50 when I needed some McDonald's for a week. You know how it is when you're down low. But if I held that today, it probably would have been worth $4. So I think I made the right decision. So I got my fill of quarter pounders for a week, thanks to that prudent business decision I made. Okay, well, that's a fun story. So how did Floyd Mayweather again? Okay, full disclosure, I wasn't reading at that time. I was just trying to remember his name, and it slipped out in like the wrongest way. How did Floyd Mayweather get involved? It just seems like he was also promoting the same thing. So
I guess, yeah, I didn't even see anything about him.
yeah,
Like, I guess I'm kind of surprised. He's got like mad money. Like, I don't know what he's out here doing promoting whatever Emacs.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, I think for these people, it's their social media teams that are kind of effing them over intentionally. So not that they can't be bad people. Yeah, of course these celebrities can be bad people and make bad decisions, but for something about this tells me that like they just weren't paying attention and they took some link or some thing to forward to a bunch of people as safe to do based on the advice of people in their council. So
They're probably following somebody that has a large number of 30 followers on Twitter who got hacked and was like, "Hey guys, buy this."
This was not my fault, and the ruling was when, like last year. So no,
I think it was this year. I don't know.
Was it this year?
Well,
oh no, sorry. The posts were last year, but the ruling, when was this article written? The ruling was like, okay, within the week here. So
yeah.
Again, these are posts from last year. Mine, I nipped mine in the bud at Chili's. I was halfway down my beer when I realized, and I wasn't even that far into it. I just, you can ask Jennifer, did I handle that swiftly, would you say?
You did it. Just
hold on, Jennifer.
Hi. Oh God, I just think you did it so good, so fast.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you have the verdict then. I did it really fast. And no, I mean, getting hacked too is a different thing. If you fall for like somebody who got hacked, I think you should be put in jail, because what that means to me is that you're stupid. Does that make sense? I feel like there's a way hacked messages and hacked posts especially read. Like mine was like 12 when have I used 12 exclamation points on anything in my life? Like, I really mean this. That doesn't happen. I would never. It looks tacky for one, but unless you're 70 years old, which first of all, you don't have any business being on Twitter at 70 years old. You have a handler. Your grandson carries you places on his back at that point. You don't get to have a Twitter, so it doesn't make sense. When people fall for those, they deserve it. That's my opinion. I know they're getting scammed, but it needed to happen because there's no other way for them to learn the lessons of life, not to trust everything you see and read and what people because it's just as easy for somebody to say, hey, I got ice cream out back, it's free, and then you get killed. So I'd rather them learn that on Twitter with their bank account than with their life, essentially. And that's who I imagine these people to be, are people that are so gullible that they'd walk into their demise, at the drop of a hat. So those are my thoughts. Any thoughts? What do you think about this, Lorenzo? I haven't really heard your opinion.
My Instagram actually got hacked not too long ago, like November, because you notice I added you on my business account and I've been using that one.
Mm-hmm.
But my personal one, it got hacked.
Yeah, you were saying it got hacked, but you didn't have two-factor authentication on, whatever it's called, and
their phone to the two-factor authentication. So on the one I'm using now, I turned it on because I was like, who's gonna hack my Instagram? I don't even have a lot of people, but they did it, and I was like, how desperate are y'all?
Mm-hmm.
And then because the thing, so first off, they took my picture and made it the screensaver to their phone, and then they screenshot their phone and they made that the post. And then so they're like, hey guys, buy these NFTs. Like, I was in the middle of messaging Siri when it happened, and the message wouldn't send. I was like, why is it not sending?
Mm-hmm.
And then Landon texts me. He's like, hey, I think you got hacked. I'm like, why? What's going on? He's like, your account's talking about, hey, buy this NFTs, and posting this stuff that you wouldn't say.
Yeah. And you know what? That's fishy, but the way they did it seems a little smarter. Yeah, make it look like it's coming from his phone. They were craftier with it, but mine today was just like
my face on my screensaver. Why would I do that?
Yeah, why would you? Again, but you think you use your brain when you see things, and you hope other people do the same, but you never know. You might have
messaging people too.
You have at least one 80-year-old person with dementia that follows you, I'm sure, and that person bore the brunt of the scam. no doubt. So to them, my heart goes out to them in their retirement home. But to all the other people, they understand. Like immediately, my friend called me, and I picked it up. I was like, "What's up?" I thought he wanted me to play a game with him. I was gonna have to let him down. So I was dusting my hands off, about to go to work and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna." But immediately he cut me off and went, "Hey, I think you've been hacked. There's somebody posting on your account all kinds of weird crypto stuff. Is that you?" And I was like, "Let me check it out." And sure enough, it was like 8 or 9 posts, like spaced out every hour or so. And yeah, I was able to get back into my account though. Were you able to recover your account?
No, I think that I was able to kick him out, but I couldn't get the account back.
That's weird. You should be able to like have an email sent to you. Did they lock you out of your email too?
No, I changed all my passwords, email included. So the thing about the email is they still want the 2-factor authentication, which goes to his phone.
Yeah.
So I can't get in.
I see.
But he shouldn't be able to be in either, because he'd have to get either an email sent to my email or a code sent to my number. So he can't get it either. Because once I changed the password, it kicked us both out. So it was both out.
Well, dang. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had to like scrap an account because of a hack. And this is maybe like the second time I've been hacked on anything.
Oh my gosh.
I had an email taken once, I believe, but other than that, no. So this was alarming for sure. And it really goes to show the state of Twitter too, I think. That's a big part of it. I think Twitter's kind of like a cesspool right now.
Elon in charge.
Yeah. I don't go on Twitter, and like I said, I have a lot of followers, which is a shame because I don't use Twitter, but those 30 people, they don't hear much from me anymore. I kind of scrapped it too. I did an overhaul on my Twitter. I made it exclusively for like my Twitch channel advertisements. It's all part of my plan on getting internet famous. So I got to start from Twitter and then work my way up the ladder. You know how it is. So how was Christmas? What did you guys do?
Christmas was cool. You know, we all went to her house, we played charades and stuff.
You guys played charades?
Yeah. We did charades last time I came home too.
Is that your go-to game, or do you play a bunch of stuff?
What else did we play?
We had crosswords, and there was a gift game that we played that got kind of aggressive.
How did that work? What were the rules?
So I think they got it off of Instagram, I think. So there's boxes set on the floor, and 2 people on each side of the box, and someone calling head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And when they say "yeah," you have to grab the box, and the first one that grabs the box gets whatever's in it.
Okay. When they say what do they have to say to grab the box? Gift. Oh, okay. I see. Can you move, Lorenzo? Can you move the mic closer to you guys real quick? Just if it goes any closer, I don't know.
It'll stop.
Have you turned up loud enough? But it won't capture every word. Sometimes I've noticed.
It's echoing on our side.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys aren't echoing for me, so that sounds fine. So that sounds like a fun game. I went to Jennifer's house back here, and her family. They had a lot of fun. Well, they had a couple of really fun games that they played, and one of them was they had a saran wrap ball, like a ball of shrink wrap, and it was this big, so it was a lot. It was like at least 2 or 3 packages worth of this plastic wrap, and inside the ball were all different prizes, on each layer. So as you unwound it, you'd get a prize, and if you grab it, it's yours. But we were all at a dinner table, surrounding the table, and we had one felt glove on, like a cloth glove, which made it harder to grip at the ball to undo it. but we go one by one, and there was a pair of dice. And every time somebody rolled doubles going down the line, going clockwise around the table, every time the next person rolled doubles on the dice, they'd get a turn to get at the ball for as long as they wanted until the next person got doubles. So that went around, and that got pretty aggressive too. People rolling dice and like snatching the ball away, and people trying to undo it as fast as they can, getting all crazy. And it was another rule, you couldn't rip into the ball either, so you had to like carefully untangle it instead of ripping it apart, because I guess that's kind of cheating if you just tear it apart. But no, that was fun. They had money, like they had just dollar bills all around it, so you get as many dollar bills as you could grab, and then they had little fun prizes in there too. And then there was another game that Jennifer's mom set up, and this one was she had a bunch of solo cups flipped upside down on a table on the countertop, and the way this one worked is each person went one at a time over to the cups, and they had to flip one over, and under the cup could be a prize. It could be like a $20 bill or a bouncy ball, or like a gift card, or it could be an egg, and the egg was either hard boiled or raw. And if you got an egg, you had to sit down in a chair in front of everybody with the camera rolling and get the egg smashed on your head. And it could either be hard boiled or raw, so you didn't know if you were going to get a raw egg or not. And I was one of the lucky few who got a raw egg on his head, so that was me. I think I won the game. But they were fun. We had a lot of fun with those. And then at my house, after I beat everyone at Jennifer's games, we did bingo. Was the big thing we did. For some reason, my mom's mom insisted that we play bingo, because she found a little like bingo cage at Kohl's or something. You know how old people are. They see things at stores that you're not supposed to buy, and then what they do is they buy them and take them home and insist that everybody play them. And that's what she did, because that's what she does. And we played bingo. But I think I'm the one that made it fun, because what I did is I had this big amp. It's not in the room now. Oh, it is, but it's on the ground. I would show you. But I have a big speaker on a stand. I took the speaker downstairs, and I had a mic stand with the mic rigged up to it, and I had somebody sit at the head of the table calling numbers with the mic and everything. And I had little costumes that people would wear every time they won. So if you won bingo, you would wear these little old lady glasses that I have here. You would wear these. The women had old lady glasses, and then the men, I had you've seen old black people, you know what they do. They wear the little golf caps for no reason. You know those golf caps I'm talking about with the plaid design. I had one of those golf caps, and I had some fake reading glasses and a mustache. And so my cousin and my little brother, they had to wear the golf cap and the mustache every time they won.
The Says 8-1, huh? Because I saw the snap.
Well, so he didn't win when he was wearing that. He just decided to wear that because he's special. And he wanted to read the numbers while wearing those. But this is what I had the women wearing. So every time they won, they'd put these on. But I feel like it made it more difficult. Not that bingo is a game of skill, but because these glasses are magnified, and so it would give people a headache and it would disorient them. So ultimately, what I was doing was I was trying to rig the game to make sure that nobody won but me. And what funny that I only won maybe once, and I didn't win anything good. So joke's on me. But we had fun doing that, and I took pictures. I need to send those to everybody, but we had a fun time. But we don't really play games. We did sing karaoke before that, and that's why I had the speaker downstairs and the mic stands. So I have a bunch of audio equipment. You can't see everything in here, but I have a few mics, and like I said, I have the big speakers. So we rigged up a karaoke system of our own. We made our own karaoke machine out of the TV and the amp. And we had fun. Oh, and then we streamed too. We went on my stream, and my nana and my mother, if you're interested in seeing that, they came on and they sang some Christmas music. They're really nice people. I'm not like them at all. I'm a terrible person. But they're really sweet, and you can tell immediately when you watch the stream that they're just sweet and endearing. And then I'm a POS, as the kids say. And I'm kind of in the background masterminding everything. But, yep. So it's good to who came. So you have were all your sisters there? Everybody showed up.
Was sick.
Oh, somebody was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens. My grandpa, my pop-up, my mom's dad, he didn't come. I think I don't know if he couldn't get as much time off of work as he thought or what, but he didn't travel out. But we did get to see him for Thanksgiving, so that was nice.
He at the gym getting them gains.
Getting the gains. Yes, sir. That's what I like to think. My grandfather's more muscular than I. Yeah.
That's what I'd be if I was a grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to assert your dominance, because when you get old, what they don't tell you is when you get old, people realize that you're weak and you can be taken advantage of. Nobody respects the elderly anymore, which I think is all the scamming coincides with that lack of respect. So they see, here's a bunch of stupid old people. Let me get on Twitter. Let me put these thumbs to work and see how much money I can make. Well, ultimately, they should be on their hands and knees, kissing these old people's feet. These people who paved the ground these youngins walk on and scam on. But no, I mean, there's just no respect anymore. So, I agree. He's getting gains, and he's maintaining his dominance over me and the family through that, I'm sure. But, someday when his back gives out once and for all, I'll climb that mountain and take the throne. I see some more links here.
Indeed.
Volcano eruption in what is this?
In DR Congo.
DR Congo?
Yeah. Well, it's like it. Oh, so according to what I read, the volcano erupted last year,
Okay.
but it's continuously erupting or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of people have died or lost their homes and have to relocate and such.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a tragedy. That sounds really bad. And I don't know why you're laughing. You should stop laughing, because this sounds really terrible, what you're describing. And just the title of the link alone sounds like it's really devastating. But what I think is worse is the link you have below that says Netflix password sharing is illegal in the United Kingdom. That seems way worse. That seems like it's maybe beyond the pale. I mean, sure, a few people, volcano eruption, but you can't share your Netflix password in the UK? What's that about? So let's look at that.
Oh my God.
I'll say before we get into this one, I was on Reddit on Christmas Day, and I was on Crazy Videos, the subreddit Crazy Effing Videos, and I saw like the worst video I've ever seen in my life. It was, I guess, on Christmas Day or like the day before Christmas. A gas tanker, an oil tanker, exploded on like a main road in a town because it like tried to go under a bridge. It tried to clear a bridge, and it scraped up against the bottom of the bridge, the oil tanker. And I guess the truck was leaking gas all around the neighborhood before then. So when it got to the bridge and it created a spark under the bridge, there's video of just this huge explosion that covers like 5 blocks. It looked like an airstrike just went off, and it was like this one truck caused this huge explosion that spanned like an entire neighborhood. And then there's this really terrible video of a guy who comes up on the aftermath to like check on people and make sure everyone's okay. And they're just like, you see these people like stumbling around, walking, like they're disoriented, and they look like their clothes are like, burnt off, and like, but you look closer and you realize that's just their skin, because like these people got charred to death just standing outside while this explosion went off. They're just standing minding their own business, and this explosion goes off, and now these people's skin is like peeling off, and it looked like a zombie movie. Like I've never seen anything like that, like a real life like zombie film. It was so terrible, and that was how they spent their Christmas, was in the infirmary, you know, and I don't think many of them survived. But again, what I think is much worse is that you can't share your Netflix password in the UK. That's insane. That's crazy to me, because how are you supposed to watch Stranger Things with your girlfriend if you can't share? I'm supposed to subscribe to another with my own email when she's watching it. That doesn't make sense. When Jennifer's no, so we got to get into this, because this is crazy. I mean, my heart goes out to all those people in South Africa with the oil, but this is insane. This is okay. So, by Tom Gherkin, a technology reporter, sharing passwords for online streaming services such as Netflix is against the law, according to a government agency. The Intellectual Property Office said on Tuesday the practice broke copyright law. And when was this posted? This was this is fairly recent, December 21st. They're saying it's against the law. Netflix has never indicated it would take any legal action in such cases, but the department has since removed the reference to password sharing in its guidance on the government website. However, a spokesperson confirmed the legal position on password sharing had not changed. So it looks like they had it explicitly stated on the website of this government department, but despite that, they're still saying it is illegal, even though Netflix doesn't. Okay, so here's the deal: Netflix doesn't want to take legal action against people. That's Netflix's position. So where does the United Kingdom's government get off on enforcing that? I mean, it's none of their business at that point. If the company's fine with it, then what do they care? It sounds like in the UK, they're a bunch of party poopers. It sounds to me like they're just here to rain on everybody's parade. They saw that Jimmy and Susie had a good using one account password, and that they're not okay with that because the government doesn't have friends or family members that would loan out their passwords to it. So that sounds to me like somebody's butthurt, and they don't want to share, and they don't like sharing, so they're going to send people to jail for doing just that and being good people. But it says password sharing was both a criminal and civil matter. There are a range of provisions in criminal and civil law which may be applicable in the case of password sharing, where the intent is to allow a user to access copyright-protected works without payment. It said these provisions may include breach of contractual terms, fraud, or secondary copyright infringement, depending on the circumstances. I'm wondering what those circumstances would be. Again, like leave well enough alone. What's it hurting that I'm paying for a subscription? Let 21 of my closest friends use that account. What's wrong with that? Let 30 of my closest relatives and family members that I work with and shop from at Wawa. Let my fellow Wawa employees that I know so well and are near and dear to my heart, let them use my. What are you doing over there? I hope you're not laughing at this, because this is serious. Let my whole county use my Netflix password. It's not a big deal. And if I was in the UK in Berk Hathaway Shire district of whatever fake elvish place I would be at if I was living in London, I want to know that I can share my password with my local tavern, with my local pub. I want everybody and their mother to be able to watch Love Actually on Netflix. That's insane to me.
Can you imagine though? You're sitting on the couch, you hear,
yeah,
open up. We know what you're doing in there.
Exactly.
We're gonna bust down the door if you don't open it right now.
And I'm like, what do you want?
They're kicking the door.
Knocking at my door.
They get you. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. Get out of her shoot.
I'm just trying to watch the new Boba Fett. I don't know what's on Netflix. I almost said Boba Fett. That's Disney, isn't it? I don't know. I don't even watch Netflix anymore, which is why I let other people use mine, because I'm not using it anymore. Let them use it. Who cares?
Oh my God.
I wish
That's still sharing. That's even worse.
It's still sharing. It's still, yeah, because I'm not using it. It's even worse that I'm sharing it, that I'm loaning it out.
That's the thing too. How do they determine who's sharing and who's not?
Right, though. I mean, they're really gonna. That seems like a waste of government resources to track these down to like the source each and every time. Again, where does it start? Where does it begin and end? If the company doesn't want to pursue legal action, where does the government step in at that point, and why? The government has to be getting something out of it. If there's government intervention, it's because they're getting something out of it. Ultimately, they're trying to get proceeds from this somehow. The government is a snake, and a snake's got to eat, and it's going to wrap its big meaty python jaw around whatever this is and squeeze it like an anaconda for whatever it has left to squeeze. I guarantee it. And they're going to do that in legal fees, and that's what it's going to be in fines. They're going to fine people who loan out their Netflix password, not because it's what's morally right. It's because they know they can do it, and they know everybody shares their Netflix password. So what's that? That's a steady revenue stream if I've ever seen one. That's everybody and their mother sharing their Netflix password, and that's like a brand new. They're going to open 10 new agencies dedicated to Netflix passwords. They're going to have a Netflix password agency. They're going to have an HBO password agency, a Hulu, et cetera, and it's going to branch out, and then they're going to be different tiers, like whatever the money's at is going to be like the popping agency for the day. But it says the scale of the problem is, according to research firm Digital Eye, they estimate around a quarter of United Kingdom Netflix subscribers, around 4 million, are sharing their passwords. Again, they're like, okay, 4 million times, how much are we going to find? We're going to find, like, let's say we find $50. What's 4 million times 50? And they just see money signs. Their eyes, they turn into money signs. And the Queen of England, God rest her soul, she's turning in her grave right now because she's like, God damn it! Why didn't I think of that? And she's just so mad at herself in heaven or in hell. Hell's down there, right? That's where she is. She's in hell. She's turning around, doing like a cartwheels in her grave because she's just like, oh, I should have levied the people for their Netflix passwords.
Wait till they make everybody register what Netflix account they use by email and password, and then they're doing stop and press. They're like, let me see your phone. What Netflix are you logged into? Go to your account info.
Yeah, go to your account now. Like, to get access to Buckingham Palace, you have to show proof of Netflix ownership, of Netflix password or subscription ownership. That's all a scam. It's a big scam. It's a shame too, because that's like the best way to watch one show on a streaming service. There's no good way to watch. It used to be you would subscribe for the free trial period and then unsubscribe, but you can't do that for every show. You get one show, and then maybe 2 months later you make a fake email and try it again. You for some reason you got a new debit card, so now you're like, okay, now I can use this payment information for this email, my treat, and then that's gone though. But the way to do it over and over again is to say, hey, Billy, I know we've been working together for a week, but there's this show on Netflix everyone's talking about. Do you have Netflix? I'd really love to use it. I can't afford it right now because I'm a piece of shit and I just don't want to pay for it. Can I be honest? I don't want to pay for it, and I'd love to just use your Netflix for like a day. Maybe like it'll turn into a month. They say a day, but then it turns into a month, and a month turns into a year, and the next thing you know, they've moved in. They've got their own profile and logo on the main menu with their name, and they got a cute little picture of a Mickey Mouse on the Disney Plus because that's their favorite Disney character, and they've made it very clear that this is their account now, and that's how it happens. But you're still paying for it. You see where I'm getting? Because you've experienced this, and that's what the United Kingdom is trying to take from people. They're trying to take this. It's how people bond. It's how they come closer. They mooch off of each other's Netflix. It's the way of life, and it's how things should be. In my opinion, they're encroaching on people's personal rights. Somebody says, okay, so in May, then Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries revealed she was one of those sharing an account. Let's see here. So Nadine Dorries, my mom. Sorry, I have to let me transition to my British affect. Me mum has access to me account. The kids do. I have Netflix, but there are 4 other people who can use my Netflix account in different parts of the country, she told the Digital Culture Media and Support Committee. When Netflix was growing in the UK, the streaming service joked in a tweet about password sharing being commonplace between friends and family. Look at this. Netflix is making a joke about their own product being stolen, which means they don't care, which means it's all in good. They understand this is the nature of the product. It's meant to be shared and stolen and trafficked to far and wide, domestically and internationally. Yet the United Kingdom will have none of this. Criminal action. One interesting part of the IPO's response in the reference to criminal law, suggesting that people could theoretically face prosecution from the Crown Prosecution Service. That's too much. There's too many departments. I can't remember all this. They didn't rule it out, blah, blah, blah. A spokesperson told BBC any decision to charge someone for sharing passwords for streaming services would be looked at on a case-by-case basis with due consideration of the individual context and facts of each case. Okay, so they're not really pursuing it. There's no evidence to suggest any police forces in the UK would open an investigation into someone for sharing their password to a streaming service. So it seems like this is all hearsay, and they're just flexing. This department's website for a time had it on the website. They took it down, but they put out a statement saying, they said, hey, we can still do this. So don't get fresh with me. Don't get loose-lipped with me about your. Don't let me hear you talking about it. Keep it to yourself. Yeah. Okay, so they've taken the dignified route about this, and they've just said, hey, you know what? We're still in charge here. If we want to, we can steal your money, but we won't unless you make it real clear that that's what you're doing. Then we'll come for your money. Miss Taylor, how many accounts do you have access to that you're not yourself paying for? And thankfully we're not in the United Kingdom, so this can never come back to you in a legal way whatsoever.
Just one. Yeah,
you don't even have to say which one, but can I tell you I have 12. I have no less than 12 that I don't pay for, that I'm using from other people. And the sad part is I don't think 12 exists, but I found a way to have no fewer than 35 accounts that I just don't pay for, that I use. There's Quibi, there's Streeby, Freebie, Hoobie. For some reason, they're all 2 syllables, and they sound like a baby's first words, all of these services. Have you ever noticed that? There's Poo Poo, there's Mommy, I Need Milky, and that one's really fun because they have a lot of shows, Mommy, I Need Milky, that I really love because I'm 5 years old, and so many of these shows seem like they were made yesterday in somebody's backyard with the worst equipment possible, but yet there are 80 subscription services that exist for some reason. Oh, and remind me never to live in the UK. That seems like BS. And I thought they were supposed to be refined over there. I thought they had it figured out. Have you ever been abroad? Either of you? Have you ever been to Europe or anywhere?
I haven't.
Never?
Not yet.
Would you like to?
I got a passport.
You got a passport?
I had a passport for years. I'm going somewhere in 2023.
Where do you think?
I told Sari when she go back to Japan, I'm gonna come with her.
Okay, that's right. Was she from Okinawa? Is that how she met her?
She's from Tokyo.
Okay. Excuse me.
But I got a friend station in Okinawa right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she said she's from like Tokyo. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. What's in Okinawa? Is it a Navy base or what?
He's a Marine, so I guess.
Yeah. We were just at the Marine Corps Museum today, me and Jennifer, and we saw. We did the outdoor walking trail. I don't know if you've ever been. It's like you can see it off of 95 around exit, like, what is it? Like 140 something. You can see it off the side of the road. It's like a big structure. It I don't know what it looks like, but what it's supposed to be is the Iwo Jima memorial of all the guys, piled on top of each other with the flag. That's what it's supposed to be modeled after. And so you just kind of see this obscure structure that's sort of shaped like that from the side of the road with a bunch of glass. It looks like, Jennifer was saying, it looks like, especially the closer you get, it looks like a transformer, like incubating, like it's underground and it's just poking its head up. But at any moment, it could assume its true form and just demolish everything. So that was one cool part about the museum that we noticed. And then we went inside, and it was even cooler because it turns out there's a museum in there, and there's all kinds of exhibits, and it's why are you laughing? But there is somebody, I'm not kidding, there's somebody else in here, and they're laughing. She's laughing. But I don't know why, because I'm stating the facts, and those are that we went through maybe like 4 different exhibits, and they're all spaced out. And they're all spaced out based on like each major war that the Marines had like a big role in. So there's one for like the Revolutionary War, because that's when they were formed. Then there's one for like the Civil War, of course, and then it goes on to like, World War I, II, the Cold War, and then Vietnam and Korean War in between all that. And it's cool because they have all kinds of like artifacts from the wars themselves, and they explain how all the weapons worked and what the functions were, what the different formations were for, what guns worked in specific formations, and then they talk about all the historical timelines, like what Abraham Lincoln was up to at this time during this thing. What was he doing? Was he picking out a new top hat when like 4,000 people were dying on a hill somewhere? We would never know if not for the museum. So thank goodness. And yeah, that was fun. It was a beautiful day. Today it was it had to be like 70 degrees outside today, which is insane because last I checked, today is December 30th. So I think the earth is going to explode tomorrow. So you guys say your prayers. I hope Christmas was good because I don't know what's happening. I think the bomb is going to go off because it doesn't make any sense. A 70-degree day in December. It's not even the new year yet, and we're already off to it was great weather. I'm not mad at it, but I went out dressed like this thinking it's going to be a little chilly. I covered up, because these glass cutters, when they get out there and I pardon my language, Miss Taylor, but when I get out there and it's real cold, I don't do so well. So I have to make sure that but again, it was so hot that I almost took it all off. I almost went full beach mode, but that would be indecent of me. That's not conduct befitting a museum, sadly. So I had to keep my clothes on. Oh boy.
Well, no shirts, no shoes, no service, so you don't need pants or
Don't need
socks
pants.
or anything.
Yeah.
No pants, no socks.
Mm-hmm.
Just shirts and shoes. And
yeah. I just need to take a ton of testosterone so that I grow hair, just grow enough hair that it looks natural and that it's not offensive. I mean, it will be offensive because if you see anybody that hairy, and you see pictures of people in India with like birth defects where they have hair all over them when they look like Yetis. I want to look like that, but I'll maybe trim the face some so that people can see that I'm a human and that I'm speaking to them and addressing them, but such that I can walk around on a day such as today without any clothes on. I think that would be helpful.
You could dye your hair different colors every day for clothes.
I know. I could, and I'd be really woke if I did that too. I'll dye the top blue and I'll leave the rest up to fate. And we'll just see I'll wake up every morning with a blindfold and take my pick of hairspray, of hair dye, and then I'll bathe in it before I leave the house every morning. I've never dyed my hair. Have you guys dyed your hair before? It seems like a hassle.
It is I've done highlights before.
You've done highlights. My mom is always switching out her hair, and I think she goes to a lady too sometimes when she's got money, but most of the time it just seems like a lot of work. My hair, as you can see, I do a real job keeping it really well groomed. It looks perfect in every way. Again, I won't do this for too long because I don't want the audience to leave. But I mean, my hair is just what it is, and it's been a rough day too. I did go outside, so that already we're off to a terrible start. But I mean, after that, my hair just kind of does its own. And if I drive with the windows down like I did today, it's just, I can't do that. I have to have a hat on or something, or else it all goes out the window. My hair actually goes out, it falls off of my head and goes out, and I have to pull over and pick it up off the ground. And that's what you see here is a bunch of dirt and debris in my hair because it fell off. My toupee fell off is what I'm trying to say. I don't have real hair. My wig flew off. And okay, I'm bearing it all, I guess, but my wig falls off and I have to pull over on 95 and in my Crocs, I have to go pick it up, and it's a whole thing. But
you gotta go where Vito goes to get his toupee.
Yeah, I know. I have to get it sewn in. That
thing, it might peel a little, but it don't come off.
It doesn't come off. Well, I think we hit the peak with the worst story of tonight, which was the Netflix one. That was the most tragic one.
There's nothing more we could do to these people.
Yeah. I mean, people die every day. But your passwords, just let me share them. And I don't want you to steal them either, like that hacker did to my Twitter tonight. You know what I did? I changed my password to some obscenity directed at hackers.
I did that too.
So, yeah, so when they hack into me next time, they're going to know how I feel. I feel like that's what they deserve. If they figure it out, if they use the little jammer or whatever encryptor on my shit, and they see that I mean business and that I don't like them very much, I think what it'll make them do is they'll put everything down, they'll back up, they'll take a step back to think, they'll reassess, and they'll say, you know what, we're wrong. We're in the wrong. And then they'll send me a gift from Amazon that I wanted because they saw my wish list when they hacked into my Amazon. That's what I think will happen. So
that does sound like a plausible idea.
I'm sorry, Miss Taylor. I'm tired. Today was a long day. I woke up early, and early for me is 2 p.m. And when I did roll out of bed eventually and go outside, I've spent it all. I'm spent. So my apologies for being over the top, but that's what I have to do to stay awake. If I don't say the most absurd things that come to mind, I just fall asleep. My eyes start to close, and it's not your fault. It just happens. I'm sure you've done it. I'm sure you nodded off. I was at Chili's, and these two wonderful people are sitting across from me. We're having what I think is a great conversation, and then Jennifer on my right starts shaking me, and I look over. What's wrong? And you've been asleep for 30 minutes. We called an ambulance. The EMTs are outside. You don't see the lights. You didn't. And I just go, what? I was eating my nachos and my chicken crisper sandwich with the special sauce. It was the same. Yeah, we thought you choked to death on it because you haven't moved or you've been drooling out of your mouth. There's foam. We thought it was foam. We thought you were ODing. And that's if I don't keep speaking in the stream of consciousness, that's what happens. Was there anything you'd like to say to the people? We've had one person watching for like the last 30 minutes, whoever they are. I love you, and I'm sure you love us because you've said so much in the chat here, which is nothing. It's been radio silent in the chat. So usually we get most of our viewership comes after the live stream. Usually the people who watch live have notifications on because they're good viewers and they know how the system works. But the people who don't have notifications on, they kind of file in after and watch it after the fact. And then they say their piece in the comments, and then I have to delete the comments because they all disparage me and the show. And you can't cuss in the comments, especially you can't say that I'm stupid. That's like the number one rule is you're not allowed. Our comment section, I'm Elon Musk, and I will ban you. And I will remove your account. I'm going to talk to YouTube headquarters, get you removed from the platform. then I'm going to actually retroactively steal your Netflix password using the email that you've decided to comment your heinous bullshit on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch every show on Netflix that I haven't been able to see because I can't afford it. And then I'll return it to you and say that you allowed me to steal it. And I'll say that you live in the UK so that they come and find you. And that's our policy. That's been our policy from day one. So when you subscribe and when you make the decision to comment, you know that you're signing yourself up for that, for those repercussions. But Ms. Taylor, is there anything that, how was your experience? I'm curious, because you're our first good guest on the show. We've had plenty of guests, but most of them have been friends of mine, which, if you know anything about Lorenzo, my friends are not interesting people. They just eat, sleep, and breathe sometimes on occasion. But what did you think about the show?
Well, I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Went a little different than I thought it would.
Were you hoping that there would be a character on the show like the last one you saw?
Not necessarily. Just I don't know. I guess it's just how y'all do things is basically how it went. So I guess that should have been the expectation.
How do we do things?
Just a little different.
How so? You could, Miss Taylor, if you know anything about me, or if you take anything away from this experience, when we're doing this show, you can say anything you want to me, and I'll be completely unbothered.
Well, I don't know exactly what you're going for or what type of. I know your friends watch. I know I've watched to support. But like, what type of things or people you're going for when you?
So the format to me, it seems like it's always evolving. And I don't know if evolving is the right word, because it seems like it's been getting worse and worse in quality with each episode. And I think the way evolution is supposed to work is the show gets better with each episode. Would you agree? I think you're nodding because you agree with that. But that's been the opposite outcome of the show's lifetime. But here we are on episode 17. I think we've hit a new low here. And it's no fault of your own. It's just because I get caught up with my own stuff. I stream on the side. I recently did a 24-hour stream, which meant I was here for a calendar day on this camera doing the same thing. My computer crashed. It was a whole thing. It was a whole day dedicated to that. But I'm doing that in the background. I also have this person in here with me that I've had people over and, trying to entertain. And I thought that this break would have been a great opportunity for me to work on everything, this included. But for some reason, for me, this always kind of just, it gets the bad end of my free time. I really don't focus a lot, or as much as I want to on this in particular. But I think part of that is because the way I work is sort of it's like whenever I feel like doing something, excuse me, I get up and I do it, and I don't really do it on any certain schedule, because I work on a schedule. Like I go to my job and work for a living, and I do that very regimentedly. But when I get home and I have time to do things like this, I choose to put my time in whatever has like the least resistance, or the least, or like I have to think about the least, With this, I have to coordinate with Lorenzo, and we have to come up with things to make it fun. And I think this was really good because he put in a lot of work on it this time, and I was able to just go and click on like the 2 articles and read those and make jokes about them. And this episode, I joked earlier, I said we hit a new low. I think what we did tonight here is exactly what I want the show to be. I just want it to be us having fun and kind of talking in an effortless way. And I'm going to make a bunch of dumb jokes because it has to be entertaining. Like, I don't actually talk to Lorenzo like this offline. Like, he and I are close and nice to each other and respectful, but when we're performing, or when I'm performing, I go over the top and I say crazy things because that's what people respond to, or that's what I've noticed. So what I envision for the show in the future, though, is that I want it to be almost like a variety show. I want it to be some of this, some current events. I want it to be some interviews with people that we care about and that we want for our audience to meet, you know, in any capacity, whether it feels real or whether it feels staged or over the top, crazy. If anybody wants to be on this, they're more than welcome to. But I want it to be those two things, and the character aspect, which we introduced like 5 episodes ago or so with the rapper character, that came from another podcast that I listened to. It's called Comedy Bang Bang, and that's all the show is. That's not an actual interview show. They just have people on specifically to do wacky characters. So I figured maybe at the top of some episodes we'll have somebody come in and do like some crazy impression or like or fake improvised character, and that could be a fun way to kick things off sometimes. But I don't want it to be any one thing in particular, this, because I mean we haven't broken into like a big audience with this yet. Like on my Twitch, doing what I do over there, live streaming games, I've already got now, as of today, I want to say 86 followers, which that's seen steady growth because I've been putting out more and more of what I noticed, what people want to see. But with this, I look at the analytics, I don't know quite what it is people want to see yet, based on the viewership, based on the interactions and the engagement and the responses to our videos. So I'm continuing to sort of experiment with the product, and I think the best approach for this is to take the variety route. It's a mixed bag. You never really know what you're getting on any particular day, and when I see a spike in response, when I see something that really takes off, like the way some things do on my TikTok when I post clips, when I see those, I snatch them up and I say, okay, we need to do more of that. And what it has gotten the most response has been current events and talking about topics that are happening like within the week, and also like wacky characters. For some reason, people liked it when I did a Trump impression. That was funny to some people on TikTok, and then people liked the dumb, you know, like rapper making up a freestyle rap on the spot. That was funny. So we do plan for that, and we do try and line those sorts of situations up for episodes beforehand. But when I dedicate time to other projects, and when I get home and I'm tired and I want to just do something immediately that I can start and not have to depend on anyone, usually that's my streams on Twitch, just gaming. I will admit that I definitely fall short on this, so it's up to Lorenzo to call me constantly and remind me to actually care about this in the same way I used to, you know, because I'm also going to be doing stand-up comedy as well. I'm going to try to do that, which is going to be terrible because I'm really bad at public speaking. I tremble, I get all shaky, and my face gets red, and people can tell that I am not supposed to do that. Like, it's like I have an allergic reaction when I get behind a microphone on a stage. But doing things like this and writing and coming up with jokes helps me to gain confidence to do stuff that I really want to do like that. So a lot of things moving in the background that prevent me from being as active on this channel. But rest assured, we will figure out a strict structure, and it will make more sense eventually. But for now, when I do put these out, it's mainly, I feel like I'm throwing out pebbles, you know, onto a pond, and I'm just trying to see which one skips the furthest. And then I take that feedback and then I plug it back into what we should be doing here. So, what would you say you enjoy the most of what you have seen? What have you enjoyed?
I most appreciated how he was able to get his story out, even though everybody else didn't get to hear it.
Yeah. And you see too, I mean, like in the very beginning, that's really what this was. It was just us talking about what was going on in our lives. There wasn't any comedy twist or anything, but eventually it started getting goofier and goofier, and and it sort of turned into this. And I think that's in part due to that I realized I'm not an important person. We're not like inherently, but who wants to hear us talking about serious things as just regular people? What people want to see, and if I'm catering to an audience, what they want to see is, who's that saying the craziest thing ever about this? They can't be serious. And then they tune in and they realize it's a joke. And if they like the comedy and if they like the funny spin on it, then they'll stick around. But it's much harder. Like I'm not going to pretend to have a degree in psychology and then sit and talk about life for hours on end, which it can be fun, but I think it's received better when it's coming from a person of status or a person who's coming from a place where it means something for them to say this. For me, it feels a little narcissistic to do that for 2 hours instead of making jokes and making silly remarks about things. But I appreciated that too. I appreciated that Lorenzo was willing to come on here and allow me to help him speak his side of things to whoever wanted to listen. And it seemed like it was all you guys who wanted to hear that and wanted to know that there are people advocating for him in the background. I mean, everybody that he worked with knew and understood that he's a great person and that there's no way that he would ever do anything maliciously or anything to endanger anybody in any way. So we knew from the beginning that all the stuff that was happening, a year ago was completely absurd. So yeah, I mean, it's come a long way, and this whole show is going to keep changing, and I hope you stick around to see what it ultimately becomes on the 50th or 100th episode, whenever that comes out. But you'll see it. You'll see the evolution. You'll see it from this point, and I'm sure if you watched the first ones, you saw how quiet those were and how bad the video looked. You see the video now; it looks a lot better, and we both have mics. Eventually I'll have Lorenzo in here, and I got more cameras in here set up, a bunch of lights and stuff, and it'll be like a real show when we can get in the same room at some point. But for now, as an internet remote thing, we're making it work. So yeah, yes ma'am. Well, again, I'll ask, is there anything you want to say to anybody? Some people will watch this. We'll maybe get like 20 or 30 views on this after the fact, but there's nobody watching right now. But is there anything you want to say to the audience?
For everybody that had the opportunity to get to know Lorenzo and interact with him, you're welcome.
Hello.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Y'all wonder where I get it from. Hello.
Yes. That confidence. No, and thank you for bringing him into this world. And if I didn't know Lorenzo, there's no way I would have done half the stuff I'm doing now, for sure. Like, I had these ambitions, but Lorenzo's like the world's best hype man. If you have an idea for anything, he'll tell you, go for it, do it. Here's how you do it. I've seen 12 people who do it this way. I'll send you 20 links to things. He's right there in your corner. So as far as hype men go in my life, he's definitely like on Mount Rushmore as far as motivation, which is why I tell him, man, if you want to do this, you get on my back about it, because I'll do it, but I need to know that you want to do it too constantly, or else I got 20 other things I can focus on too. So
Feel that. Now, speaking of links, I noticed your comedy's been getting better. I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, oh, he hitting it.
Oh, this this episode? You gonna gas me up at the end of the episode? Oh,
I mean, no, I ain't want you to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to inflate your
I'm sorry
ego.
I'm sorry I had to do it when your mom was here. I know she wanted to have a genuine conversation with like a human being and not like a dumb idiot the whole time. But I'm trying to get funnier. I'm trying to get snappier and wittier, you know. But
we're doing it because, like, you know, I listen to comedians. I sent you a link earlier. You're hitting it. I'm like, oh man. Like, whenever you go to your joint, like, you let me know because I got to be there to see it. I even just be up on the stage it's like moral support. I have a small part.
It's gonna be really funny. It's gonna be really funny because I'm gonna have 20 jokes. I have 20 good jokes lined up, and I have an order and everything. But you know what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get on stage and I'm gonna pee my pants in front of everybody, and they're gonna start laughing, and then I'm gonna pee out of my eyes too. These things called tears. And I'm gonna be crying. And I'm going to take my phone out and I'm going to call my mom on stage and tell her this is going terribly. And she's going to go, well, what did you think was going to happen, you idiot? I told you not to. And I'm going to just be, I'm going to be a mess. So I'm going to pack a lot of Pampers beforehand. I'm going to double up. And get the adult size. They don't make Pampers for adults, but I'll get Depends. Because those are dependable, God. I hear. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on stage and I'm just going to be ready for anything. But I really expect the worst. And that's why I don't want you or anybody I know to be within 100 miles of the place that I started. Because I'm just going to throw up, I think. It's going to be disgusting. So
I'll be there. I'll be like, no, it's okay. Everybody throws up.
Everybody throws up. Oh, my God. It was the worst thing ever. We went to a show... it was like a month or two ago, and it was an open mic, and somebody was getting heckled, and I'd never seen that in person. Somebody, like an audience member, you know, like giving the person on stage grief about like a joke they were telling, and it just didn't make any sense to me. I was like, who are you to speak at this person who's on stage? You know, like he didn't even it wasn't even like crowd work. He wasn't talking to the audience at all. It's like, who are these people that will just cut people off on stage? So that if I'm scared of anything, it's definitely like the audience's reception to whatever I'm saying, and if they're going to cut me off. Because if I get cut off, I'm going to jump out of the building.
We're gonna see if we can spray people with water guns. We're gonna look into legality of it. If anyone cuts off, I'm gonna get the super soaker.
What was even crazier, and what everyone was looking around for, was like, okay, is no one gonna take this guy out of the room? Like, there's no security, nothing. Here's this guy who's drunk and belligerent or what, and he thinks it's okay to speak at the performer. So that. If I'm afraid of anything, it's that. But I need to get over myself and do it for sure. And
That's what I'm saying. You gotta have somebody there.
Yeah, with the
you gotta have your backup.
Yeah.
In case you gotta in case you gotta talk to somebody outside.
I feel like I need to go up and eat garbage first, and then after that, if I feel like I need to bring people, then I'll bring people. But I want to go and get an honest interpretation, because I don't want to go up with 30 of my closest Netflix users and then have all them, you know, cheering me on and laughing because I'm there. Because I've seen that. I've gone to shows. I've gone to improv shows, and one of them was like an amateur improv night at a place in Fredericksburg, and it's a team of people, and you got a team of 5 people on stage, right? And they're all like bouncing off of each other, and it's like who's on first, or whose line is it anyways, whatever the show's called. It's like where they all go up and they have these little games that they play, and there's somebody at a desk with a bell, and they go through different games. And out of the 5 people performing, there was one guy who was getting all the laughter in all the room, and he wasn't even like the funniest guy. And what it was is he like stacked half of the room. It's all his family and all his friends from high school. And they're like, yeah, Johnny! Woo! And it's like the smallest room ever. Like, there's no reason to be yelling as loud as they were. And it just kind of gives the game away. It's like, okay, well, now we know that you cheated the system. But to that guy, it's like it's fuel for him. So he's only getting like more amped up and more active, even though he's like not that funny to begin with. I feel like that's a worse punishment, is to be made to feel that you're good at what you're doing when it's like false feedback. So I want to go up, I want to get the real feedback so I know what to tweak. I want to go back once or twice with the real feedback, and then I'll bring people, and then I can blame the room and be like, okay, y'all just don't get it because I've worked on y'all. So
I ran simulation.
F you guys. I ran the simulation. Now I'm going to bring my people in, and they're going to show you what you need to be laughing at, because they're going to laugh no matter what. And that's my approach with it. So I'll let you know when I've tested it out and where to be. But did he tell you we're going to see Tracy Morgan in March? Did he tell you got tickets to him?
No.
Yeah. So Tracy Morgan, he was coming through. He told you that we went to the DC Improv to see a guy from Chappelle's show. Did you say you didn't invite your mom? You didn't let her know? You didn't invite. You know she's responsible for you being here, right? Which we all cheered for that. And yet you're gonna treat this lovely woman by not even telling her that you got.
I gave her a kebab for I came. Or no, I think that was
kebab or Tracy Morgan. Kebab, Tracy Morgan. Do you see what I'm saying? You couldn't even tell her, like, well, I got tickets. You didn't have to invite her, but at least, you know.
Trip though, I don't know.
No, I understand. You should come see a show though. They're really fun, and there's all kinds of comedy clubs. That's just one, but he's going to be there in March. It got sold out like within a week, but then they added 2 more days, and I happened to see one of the days they added, and so I jumped on that and snatched up tickets for myself.
Stuff though, it was a nice place.
Yeah.
Like when we saw Donald Rollins, Christian got a good table because like I could have touched the man. I was like, I probably shouldn't, but like in fact,
yeah. Well, that's when they had the celebrity people like from TV, from like Comedy Central on there. That's when they'll take you out of the room if you interact. But when it's an open mic, I was in the same room for this open mic, and it's all local people, and they of course the employees aren't going to say anything or do anything. They're just like, oh, whatever. Let him get booed off the stage or let him get harassed. But if it was a celebrity, because you know what happens is they get harassed and then they go afterwards and talk to the staff. Hey guys, why didn't anybody take so-and-so out of the audience? You must not want me to come back. And you must not want Joe Rogan to come back or Tom Segura to come back or and then their money's on the line. But with an open mic, nobody's going to care if some loser goes up and gets made fun of. Nobody's going to care
because it'll be real funny if you punch him in the face.
Yeah, no. But that's what they do. They say, I'm going to talk to my agent, and no one's ever going to come back to this club because you guys don't know how to take out hecklers. You see the guy, I pointed to him, you didn't do anything. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to mess with your money, and this club's going to get shut down because you're not going to be able to make any money anymore. So I want to get to that point too. I want to get to the point where I can shut places down if they don't comply with my rules. I'm really confident that we can get there.
Definitely.
Well, you'll have to come on when we have more of a game plan. And I would love, if there's something you want to talk about in particular, please bring it, run it by Lorenzo. You've been a great guest. I love seeing you nod because it means that I'm doing something right. We're doing something right. That's mainly the problem with this is when I have no feedback, especially when I have like 1 or 2 viewers and I can see people watching, like I see one person's been watching this whole time. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their story is, where they come. They could be like my worst enemy. This could be one of my exes watching, just stalking me. I have no idea. And what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say hi or what? It's like somebody's like watching you in your most vulnerable moment, but they're not interacting with you. I feel like I have to look over my shoulder constantly when we do this show. But it's nice to see somebody on the screen giving, positive affirmations at all times. It really I think you said I'm on my shit tonight. I think it's because I'm getting the positive feedback and I know, okay, all right, that worked. I can keep going. I can talk about how people dying in a gas explosion doesn't affect me, but that I love getting to use my mom's Hulu way more than that over human life. And I know that it's working when I see that. So thank you again. If for anything that you're here is a positive force of good. Okay. Well, Lorenzo, at the end of all of these, since the very beginning, or it might have been like the third episode, what we like to do is he gives advice to the audience at the end of each episode. And of course, I'm noticing now that he's not on the camera, so let me adjust that. But while I'm adjusting this, Lorenzo, would you like to impart any advice upon the audience that you have for these lovely people?
I think I could drop something for
that they can go home with.
I feel like I gotta start writing these down once I've already said, because at first I was just saying stuff.
I mean, these are proverbs. You gotta write them down so that we can
write a book.
Them. We're gonna write
Yeah,
a
that's
book.
what I was about to say. I was like, what would I call that?
We're gonna write a book. We'll do book signings at live shows someday.
Oh my gosh, we gotta write a book.
It'll be the L&C Bible.
Oh, also don't forget my L-Coin.
L-Coin, that's right. Last time we made our own cryptocurrency, which is real, and it's 1,000% safe with no less than 20 exclamation points, all caps. And that's on my Twitter right now. So if you guys go to CTB_CTB9, my Twitter, you can purchase L-Coin for, I think it's going for $1,000 right now. It's doing really well, and you will see nothing but the best return on that. Yeah, give it a week. Don't sell before a week, you little piglets. If I catch one of you selling early, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna tell your mom, and she's not gonna be happy. She's not gonna be happy because your mom and I are close, and I know that if she finds out that you sold before a week and you thought you could get one of them and get greedy with my L-Coin, I'm gonna be on you faster than the UK Netflix department with those passwords. I'm gonna get mine. But if you would, please buy L-Coin. And what other advice? That's great advice, by the way. Buy L-Coin.
Trying to help people out.
And it is. We're helping them. Well, we're not telling you to buy our cryptocurrency for us. I mean, who would I? I'm giving you an opportunity to make money, real money. And I'm talking to get out the project's money. I'm talking start your own business money. I know you've had ideas for yourself and your family. This is the way to go. It's as safe as it gets. But please, is there anything else you have to say? Because I'm about tapped out. I'm gonna pass out.
Well, speaking on tapped out, I'll tell the people, make sure you get a nap. You know, people think that naps are just for children. Naps are one of the most important things in the universe. You know, naps are crucial. After work, I take a nap, especially before school. You gotta get proper rest. If you don't get proper rest, you start losing brain cells. And that's just one thing. You can look it up, do the research.
Is that true? Because that makes a lot of sense. I feel like I'm operating at 50% capacity at all times.
That's 100% accurate information.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lie to you, people. Not right now.
You remember at the beginning, Miss Taylor, when I couldn't read, when I told you that I never learned how to read? I'm pretty sure I learned how to read in elementary school. But for some reason, I only get 30 seconds of sleep every night. And what that does to my brain is, I think it's evidenced by my inability to read simple words. I'm talking one-syllable words. I'm talking 3-letter words.
That's how bots just read. Like Money Mayweather Jr.
That's how he reads. Well, he can't read because he gets punched in his head for a living. And I think that's because he gets put to sleep for a living.
No,
he gets too much sleep.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's taking that many losses, honestly.
True.
He does get hit though. He gets hit.
Yeah.
But he wins.
Ugh, that's terrible. All right, don't get hit, guys. Thank you for coming on, Miss Taylor. It was a pleasure meeting you again. I know we've met before, but it's good seeing you.
No problem. It was a pleasure being here.
All right. All right, you guys take care.